Welcome to Care Sandwich, the podcast where we dive into the success journeys of law firm owners across the country. I'm Margarita Everline, your host and the founder of Marketing Boss, a fractional chief marketing officer firm for law firms. On this show, we'll explore the challenges, strategies, and victories that have shaped law firms and how they wrap every interaction with care. Because we believe that caring isn't just a value, it's a strategy for success. So grab your favorite sandwich, sit back, and let's dig into a conversation filled with insight, inspiration, and of course, a lot of care. Hey everyone, welcome to today's episode of Care Sandwich. I have Serje all the way from California here. He's going to tell you a little bit about himself, but I'm so excited to have him as a guest because he is an attorney who took a very interesting path. Not necessarily to run a law firm, but he does something super valuable, very interesting that he's going to talk to us about today. And if you're a law firm owner, he's going to give you the best advice that you could receive in today and age when it comes to running a firm successfully and optimizing all of your marketing. So Serje, tell us about yourself, about your legal career, what you do now, and how you make things happen at your law firm.
Well, I appreciate that introduction, Margarita. I'm very humbled. So like you said, I went to law school. I went to Pepperdine for law school, and immediately after, I joined a big insurance defense firm out here in Los Angeles. I did that for a while, and then I joined another firm that had a commercial litigation practice. And I did that for all in all about 5 to 6 years. And I always sort of had a hand in the technical realm. I always kind of did some very light web development on the side and just for fun.
Just for fun? Who does that just for fun?
It's cool. It's cool to see things come to life on websites.
Yes.
It's just fun to write something and then you see something else happen on the screen. It sparks joy. And so while I was doing that, I found myself sort of at a juncture as to where I want to take my career next, what I'm enjoying, what I'm not enjoying. And so I decided to take kind of a little risk and change things up a bit. And so I did a coding boot camp out in New York, moved out over there, and joined a coding boot camp. This particular program, it was its first back to sort of in-person program after COVID. So went out over there, did that coding boot camp, and through that I found a company called Litify. And I saw that they were looking for a solution engineer position, sort of a hybrid between a technical and sales position. And it was like the right path sort of crossing, right place, right time. And I was I reached out to them. I said, hey, I'm a lawyer. I just did this coding boot camp. I got some great technical skills. I'm interested. Would love to talk. And met with the team, and then joined Litify for a while. And I was at Litify doing in that sort of sales engineer role, and then doing some implementations for a while too. And through that, I found Levin Nalbandyan. It's a customer of Litify. Met with the owner, and we got along well, and our heads were sort of in the same sort of space. And so I joined the firm. We're closing in on almost 2 years, I think, maybe just over a year and a half or so ago. And since then, I've been wearing a bunch of hats.
That's amazing. So I'm going to do a quick recap of what I heard. So you tortured yourself with the LSAT, and then you tortured yourself with law school, and then you tortured yourself with passing the bar exam, and then you want to learn coding just for fun. I don't know if you realize what a unicorn you are. Most law firm owners that I talk to, or even attorneys, they're like, keep me away from HTML. I don't even know what that is. It looks like alien language.
Kind of is.
How
Kind of is.
fascinating.
Yeah.
And they're so lucky to have you there at the firm. Talk to us about how you transform law firms.
Yeah. The sort of technical experience and the legal sort of background really do stack on top of each other really well. It's super important to have an understanding of what happens in the day-to-day of each individual in the firm, so having an understanding of everyone's sort of roles and the value that they provide. It sort of like opens up sort of like the window into the firm's operations to see where technology can come in and help relieve some pain points, help build out automations, restructure the way individuals and teams sort of operate, given like the technical stack that the firm is on. So yeah, it was definitely a kind of a big turn going from law into the technical realm, but really I think the two sort of complement each other so well. Because you get an understanding of how a firm operates, what every sort of teammate does day to day, and then seeing where technology can sort of stack on top of it is, I think they go hand in hand really well. And so a lot of my time is spent digging for those sort of inefficiencies or finding ways to restructure in individual roles day to day, their operations, seeing what automations I can sort of bring in with Salesforce and Litify. And of course, there's always a whole bunch of new tools coming up left and right, all day, every day. And so it really does help to sort of have an understanding of what tools might be applicable to what problems. And so that's what I spend a lot of my time on now.
I love it. I wish I knew what you knew as an attorney. I came at this from the marketing angle, and I've had to learn the legal piece. Like, your brain just fascinates me because you understand the legal process and how to complement that from the funnel part, right? Yeah. So let's talk about that. Many law firms out in the country, and this is just based on my personal experience, networking with attorneys all over the country and working with attorneys all over the country, they're not thinking about automation as much as they are about marketing and filling that funnel. And this is one of the reasons why I appreciate what you do. I understand it. We speak the same language when it comes to automation and optimization. Let's talk about, what would you advise an average law firm owner that's just focused on, what matters is that my phone is ringing. What matters is that, I've got visibility and I'm getting referrals and I'm getting those cases or those leads contacting my firm. That's all that matters. Like, what do I need to do all this other stuff for? Why do I need to buy that tool? Or why should I invest, or why should I even slow down to think about my sales and intake process? Because I am shocked when I meet law firms that don't even have, like, not even a one sheet of this, of like what's supposed to happen when somebody contacts. So what advice would you give somebody that's there in their business, knowing what you know and having built what you've built?
I suppose it depends on what the firm owner, what the goals are.
That's fair.
If you've set up a firm and everything's chugging along great and you're happy where you're at, there's an argument for don't rock the boat. I do think ultimately, as other firms and as other firm owners start thinking about those things, you might get sort of pushed out, or the market share that you do have gets sort of taken over. So it really is important to keep up to date with the tools that can help you with your day-to-day processes, whether it's after the case is signed up or to help bring the case in. It's super important. You get to see where the cases are coming from, what the sources on them are. It's important to understand what the processes are once the call is placed. Who's answering the call? What are they saying? How are they moving that lead along? And there's a bunch of different tools for every sort of stage of where that, where your firm is.
Right.
Whether you're a solo owner or a solo practitioner, or you have a team of 5, or you have your firm has 1,000 attorneys, and your intakes process and your marketing are the most sophisticated machines out there. There's tools that help bring that sort of clarity, and I think as a firm owner, if you're not thinking about how to implement those tools, or sort of thinking about what they can do for you, you're going to get left behind.
Yeah, I always go back. I don't know what book I read this from. I read so many books, but I always go back to my metaphor of what happened when the car was invented and we were in the carriage business, in the horse business, right? If we were thinking, I'm just gonna, have the healthiest horses and I'm just gonna have the best carriages, but we're like ignoring that this whole other world like just coming up alongside us, after a while that catches up to you. And I really do think that that's, the case with technology and law firms. We're really getting to that point where, even if you don't want to be number one, which I assume every law firm wants to be number one, right? I want to go fast. I want to win. So even if you don't, there's going to come a point where the market will swallow up, gobble up the service brands, or prefer the brands that provide that experience, right? Something as simple as always making sure that a human answers the phone. Absolutely. Requires technology to enable that. I've got some clients that are really small, and they're just starting out, and it's like, okay, yeah, year one, I'll allow it that the calls go to your cell phone, but we really need to get some sort of call routing, listen, I don't judge, right? I'm here to help everybody. But describing what you've described, where there's this whole world of law firms that are already, at the Jetson phase, right? I'm dating myself. I don't even know who the Jetsons are, but where it's like, we know where everything's coming from. We're monitoring what time the phone calls come in, and when does the volume increase? When does it decrease? And how are we managing our staff accordingly? And then how are we doing the follow-up with automation, right? So that we sign up those cases. I did a competitive analysis over the weekend for one of my clients, because he asked us to, where we actually opted into a bunch of competitor campaigns to time the follow-up sequence. Wow. To analyze what is the messaging sequence like, what are they saying, what's the psychology that they're playing to, so that we can compare and then do it better. All of that requires tools and automation, right? So I go back to my client and I say, these were our findings, and they're like, oh, we don't have tools that do that. And I'm like, then why are we doing this? Can I have $100 to buy a license to XYZ tool, right? So yeah.
At the most basic level, at least knowing where that lead is coming from, what marketing campaign is producing leads, what marketing campaign is, and what's the product, what's the outcome of all the efforts that you're placing. It's almost a moot point to go through that exercise if you don't know what the results are. So absolutely. Yeah. Like you and I have discussed, there's a bunch of tools at every sort of phase to help uncover that information. So it's absolutely crucial. No?
Hey there, I hope you're enjoying the conversation and your sandwich as much as we are. I want to take a moment to share a few words about our sponsor, Marketing Boss. If you're a law firm owner looking to supercharge your growth, our team at Marketing Boss is here to help. We've got over a decade of experience and a proven track record, and we specialize in growing law firms like yours with data-driven marketing leadership. So if you own a law firm and you're ready to get a predictable, steady flow of cases from your marketing, let's connect at marketing-boss.com.
So the checklist that I think you and I have discussed, just to highlight it, is step number 1 is attribution, right? Use some sort of tool to figure out where your lead's coming from, and if possible, what campaigns are generating calls, form fill outs, all of that stuff. Step number 2 is have some sort of system in place for follow-up, whether that's a workflow that gets them to a live person each time, whether that's a workflow that sends them through some sort of system where they get followed up with phone calls, emails, text messages. And then step number 3, let's talk about that, the human touch. What do we do to really optimize that lead flow, that follow-up, and that conversion rate with the follow-up?
Right, and I mean that begs sort of what is your UVP? What's your unique value proposition? What is your sort of outward position when talking to a prospective lead? It's just as important as how you communicate to your client, because that really is that first client communication, it's that first touch point. So having that honed down is absolutely crucial. Absolutely.
Yeah. What are some best tips that you have seen in your experience, if you can share, for customer service?
I think empathy is the biggest one. Is just being able to find something to connect with a prospective client. That's the biggest sort of factor. Is just making a genuine connection, that human touch. I don't think there's anything better than that. And in fact, like everything flows from that, I would say.
Right. And I think empathy, is a word that gets thrown around too. I'm curious if you would like to expand on this, but I think empathy has to be authentic. What do you think?
I think empathy is predicated on authenticity. I think you can't be empathetic without being authentic.
That's true. It's like dry water, right? There's no such thing.
Yeah, right. Yeah, something to that effect. Yeah, I think it's immediately obvious if empathy is being feigned, or if there's an ulterior motive, or if it's not genuine. And so, if it's any of those things, I don't think it's empathy.
What are some things that you can advise based on your experience to somebody that's listening, either has a law firm, is thinking about creating a law firm, or creating their own law firm, to actually have an environment or a company culture that encourages empathy? Like, how do you do it at your firm?
I think from my experience, from my perspective, I think it stems from a genuine sort of North Star for providing the best possible service that you can. And I think if that's the North Star, if that's the goal that you set for yourself, for your firm, everything will flow from that very naturally.
Yeah. And one thing I noticed, if I could add, and if it's okay for me to share, the last time that I was at your firm, I really felt like it was part of your company culture, and you can tell in like the subtle things, the way your team members talk to each other, the way the leadership interacts with the team. I feel like all those things also help to create that space so that when people were communicating with prospective customers, like it was just a natural flow of the company culture that you have. I think that's important and very valuable too.
Depending on the size of the firm, it could be as simple as sharing one lunch a week together. As you grow, maybe a monthly meeting. As you go further, maybe a quarterly all hands. Just so everyone's on the same page, and you get sort of like a check-in to make sure we're all aligned on our goals, and everyone sees that we are one team working towards one end, which is providing the best possible service that we can. And things will come up left and right, breakdowns in operations, or the day-to-day stuff just always comes up. But with that understanding across the firm, they're easy to manage. They're easy to get through. They become non-issues with that one goal in mind. So I think, different firms can do it different ways. You can set core values and pillars sort of for your firm, and embed those throughout the culture of the firm. So as you come across those issues, those junctures, you can fall back on, this is why we're doing what we do, and kind of move along.
I love that. And I do think, and thank you for pointing that out, more law firms could probably take a half day or a couple hours to document core values.
Yeah.
It really does matter. I know I have them at my firm, and we include them as part of our onboarding process and our onboarding materials, and we discuss them in team meetings as well. And I found it valuable for my business, and I've seen law firms like yours that do this as well, which is super important. So I think that's definitely a great tip. Serge, I could talk to you all day. I have to ask you one more question, and then you're going to tell us how people can get a hold of you too. I don't want to forget that.
Yeah.
But my podcast is called Care Sandwich. So I ask every guest, what is your favorite sandwich?
Oh man.
You're like, I don't eat bread. No, just kidding.
No, I definitely do. That's a tough one. That's the toughest question of the day.
You like all the sandwiches? You don't want to make a sandwich feel bad? Is that what's going on?
I would have to say a classic hot pastrami sandwich.
Oh, yum. Those are good. Oh my gosh. And in Southern California, they're the best. I don't know why.
Yeah. The type of sandwich where you need to take a break after. That's what I'm going for. That's the ideal.
That makes you take a nap.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That was a tough one, Margarita.
Oh my gosh, I know, right? Hardest question for the end. So Serge, if somebody wants to get a hold of your law firm because they're like, you know what, that's the law firm that I'm going to refer all of my injury cases, my employment cases. Actually, walk us through what sort of cases should people be referring to your law firm, and then how to get a hold of you.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a personal injury, employment, and workers' comp practice. We practice statewide, and we're incredibly zealous and passionate about the work that we do. You can find us all over the web. Hopefully you run into some of the ads that we're running. I've been optimizing the last year and a half. Hopefully you find us on the first page of Google. You can find us at lntriallawyers.com. Or give any one of us search our names, will come up, and always happy to of course chat about what we're doing over here, and if there's a way we can help out, we're of course more than willing to do so.
If you visit their website and forget, don't worry, because Facebook and Instagram will remind you.
We'll run those as well. Yep.
And they also have a podcast. Harry handles it, right? Harry has that's it right there. So you can also find them on their podcast.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's been taken off. Harry's been doing a phenomenal on that as well. So please feel free to reach out. More than happy to chat about anything that we're sort of doing over here.
Awesome. So there you have it. If your law firm doesn't handle these types of cases and you need a go-to firm to refer them to, here you go. You've got an excellent solution here. You know that they're going to be taken care of. They're going to get a response right away, and they're going to get some follow-up and follow through. So thank you so much, Serge, for today's interview. And for those of you that tuned in, check us out on the next episode where we're going to have another amazing guest. In the meantime, have a great week. See ya.
Thanks, Margarita.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Care Sandwich. Remember, the way we care for our clients, our teams, and ourselves can make all the difference in our success. Until next time, keep caring, keep growing, and I'll see you on the next episode of Care Sandwich.